What's up everybody, welcome to FoundFlix. This time on Ending Explained, the usual doldrums of January get a jolt of excitement from the sci-fi thriller Underwater, where a crew on a deep-sea drilling station are forced to make a perilous trek to safety, taken to new depths of terror when they encounter other dangerous creatures amongst the water. Similar to our previous video on the new Grudge, Underwater has on the surface all the same potential red flags of disappointment that typically come with January releases. First off, this is another sort of forgotten 20th Century Fox movie that got shuffled aside when Disney took over, and has been sitting on the shelves for a couple of years since 2017. And releasing it now in the slowest time of the year shows they don't really have much confidence in its box office prospects, which turned out to be founded, as it got trounced by 1917, coming in with less than 10 million over its opening weekend. Ouch! And joins the other many recent Fox flops that have come out in the wake of the Disney takeover. However, in this case, a less than robust box office earning doesn't mean Underwater is the usual January dreck. In fact, it's actually a pretty satisfying action-packed thrill ride. It really hits the ground running and never lets up, with back-to-back intense set pieces as our crew navigate increasingly dangerous waters. Now also, it's not the most original or anything, but all it's setting out to do is be a fun and thrilling time at the movies, and on that front, it more than delivers. It's honestly unfortunate that this was dumped out and forgotten, because it deserves to be seen on the big screen. So hey, go see it if you want to. And this is an actual original movie, not a remake or a sequel or based on a comic or nothing. Well, it's technically an original movie, but it obviously owes a lot of its overall DNA and style to the eternal tight quarters sci-fi classic Alien. Even Kristen Stewart's Nora is the same driven, no-nonsense leader right from the cloth of Ripley's personality, and Stewart leads the movie quite admirably. Her and Pattinson have gone on to do some interesting careers after that Twilight garbage, and she proves again that she is capable of far more than longingly looking at sparkly dudes and biting her lip. While there's definitely some Alien in there, what I feel like it's even more akin to are the trio of deep-sea monster movies that somehow miraculously all came out back in 1989. Probably the best known, Jimmy Cameron's The Abyss, along with Deep Star 6 and Leviathan. And it's the latter one actually that Underwater really shares a lot in common with. Even the comic relief, TJ Miller, is basically just Daniel Stern from Leviathan, though Stern is a bit more neurotic, while Miller is a blubbering man-child. Underwater really is an updated take on the same overall scenario from those 89 flicks: bantering crew members, monsters lurking in the depths, perilous walks through the sea. Pretty much the whole thing owes a debt to all those earlier classics, which is actually kind of awesome in my opinion, because this kind of movie has fallen out of style, and Underwater does a great job of updating the subgenre to modern day standards. I mean, it did have a $50 million budget, that's pretty substantial, and impressively the movie makes use of every single cent on screen. It's got a good scale to the action that continuously builds throughout, and utilizes its locations well to make issues for our characters that kind of reminded me of The Descent. It's like just being down on the bottom of the ocean has enough problems, and then you add in killer sea monsters. That's not good. I also was pleasantly surprised by the creatures, who ended up having a lot more to them than I would have initially expected, going in an almost more Lovecraftian direction with things, which was pretty awesome. So we'll be looking at the monsters in depth and what they're all about, in addition to breaking down the overall movie, explaining the meaning behind the big sacrifice in the finale, and the aftermath that shows us things are far from over. Unfolding deep beneath the waters in the Mariana Trench, aka the deepest trench in the world, a company funded the construction of a massive drilling facility for research purposes, and we soon come to see the repercussions of drilling that deep into the earth. One of the employees, mechanical engineer Nora, barely gets the chance to brush her teeth before all hell breaks loose. All alone, she clutches a ring on a necklace longingly, this helping us understand that she's lost an important lover, and still laments over them being gone, which most likely would influence her decision to work down on the bottom of the ocean. You're always like, who the heck would take these kind of jobs in the first place? And usually running from something in their lives is the answer. Then out of nowhere, an apparent earthquake strikes the station, bursting the outer walls, sending water flooding in and creating absolute chaos, already having to sacrifice a few crew members when the waters would have taken down the whole facility by sealing the door off. Well, sorry guys. Navigating the now busted and collapsed station, she meets a few other survivors along the way, including Rodrigo, previously mentioned man-child Paul, burgeoning couple Smith and Emily, and luckily the captain as well, who happens to have a plan. With their station's pods destroyed and only 30 minutes until it implodes on itself, he suggests the harebrained idea that they travel to the main roebuck drilling facility. But as Nora points out, that's 1 mile down and 1 mile away from the bottom of the ocean. Just how the heck are they gonna manage to pull that off? Walk, he calmly replies, and with no better options and time running out, they have to go forward on their dangerous journey. From here, it's pretty much just watching our numbers getting progressively thinner one by one, while our group faces increasingly difficult circumstances in their dangerous walk to potential salvation. Even before leaving the station, we witness just how much danger they're really facing. Everyone suits up to get in the water, and thanks to the outer damage to the station, a large amount of pressure has built up. As soon as they begin to open the doors, Rodrigo, who unfortunately has a crack in his helmet, having traded Nora for a clean one earlier, the pressure release causes the glass to crack as the doors open. Nora tries to stop them, but it's too late. The water comes flooding in, the pressure cracks through his helmet and instantly kills him. Well, dang, that is definitely not a good start. But their obstacles are only going to get more severe the deeper they traverse. They board an underwater elevator of sorts to reach the ocean floor, and on their trek to the bottom, pick up a distress signal, which after some debate feel they are obligated to investigate in case of more survivors. They come to another elevator which is ripped open, strange growth spotting up all over its walls. When they send out a team to search the remains, naturally the employees on board are long dead, but they are given a bigger surprise. What looks kind of like eggs on the walls. One hatches, launching an approximately meter-long worm creature at them, which they are able to take out and bring back to the group. This bizarre creature of course brings them some concern, and it implies that it was in fact their drilling that awakened these subterranean creatures. But they still have no choice but to continue towards the roebuck, their numbers dwindling along the way, like Paul's line getting stuck in some water and getting pulled away by the creatures to his demise. They get to the bottom and there discover the strange worms are only the beginning, encountering basically mermen with fang-filled mouths. And even the poor captain, who has his own lost loved one, a 14-year-old daughter, meets his demise at their deadly hands. One drags him away and Nora breaks from the others to rescue him, following after him through some perilous caverns, yet it's to no avail. The captain's suit exploding and sending Nora into the abyss. Still alive and now alone with a malfunctioning suit, she makes it to another waypoint station, the Shepherd, and piecemeals together a working one to make the final walk towards the roebuck. Not long after, she stumbles across a few familiar faces, Emily and the wounded Smith. Emily is completely losing it at their dire situation, but Nora manages to calm her down, promising to get them to safety. And upon seeing the couple, she appears to have a new resolve. Her mission now to get these two crazy lovebirds out of here so they can be together and have the life that she lost. And huzzah! They're in luck, finally making it to the long-awaited destination of the roebuck, only to encounter even more problems. As they approach the drill, Nora sees a sea monster nest is right above the entrance tunnel. As the drill is the source of this whole thing, it stands to reason that these creatures make their home close to that source. Fortunately, they're all having a merman nap at the moment, so all they have to do is sneak by them to get inside. But Nora accidentally wakes one up, leading to a fight that results in her getting swallowed whole. Good thing for her, she grabs some flares back at the Shepherd and shoots the gun from inside the body, blasting through it and rips her way out of it. Well, that's a plus. At least they figured out these guys aren't so tough after all. I mean, sure, they're big and scary and everything, but wait, she woke up the entire brood. Yeah, they're screwed. Though we see they're screwed on a whole new level. When they're just about to swarm her, they pull back, seeing they're all actually attached to a much larger tentacle. The creatures are apparently babies of a much larger mother creature, referred to as the godmother, who crests the trench, and based on its specific appearance and massive size, all tentacle-faced and wings and everything, certainly looks like our old friend, the ancient evil god Cthulhu. First introduced in writer H.P. Lovecraft's story The Call of Cthulhu, the ancient evil god hibernates in an underwater city, one of many ancient gods referred to as the Old Ones, and is said to be the source of anxiety for mankind at a subconscious level, and conversely is worshipped by others. And it definitely seems that our crew's drill has inadvertently drilled into its home and awakened the long-dormant creature. Also, just as the case with Lovecraft's works, the idea is the fear of the unknown. And that is definitely the situation for our crew. They have no idea what this thing is or how it got here, they just gotta figure out how to deal with it. The director also did confirm this is indeed a reference to the literal creature, which I found a very cool surprise. You know, all this talk about Cthulhu and H.P. Lovecraft and everything made me want to go back and check the original short story just to see how much it actually does have in common with the movie. Turns out a surprising amount. Here, let me just read you the opening paragraph. You'll see what I'm talking about. The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents. We live on a placid island island of ignorance in the midst of black seas of infinity. And it was not meant that we should voyage far. The sciences, each straining in its own direction, have hitherto harmed us little. But someday, the piecing together of dissociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality and of our frightful position therein, that we shall either go mad from the revelation or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. Basically, we're screwed by science and greed, and that is exactly what the movie is. I honestly didn't realize how much of an adaptation it was of that original short story, obviously updated to modern times, but it's pretty awesome. It was sort of like a surprise Lovecraft movie in a way. Of course, escape won't be so simple. Nora learning that one of the 3 remaining pods has been damaged, meaning someone is going to have to stay behind. Nora insistently shoves Emily and Smith into respective pods, the 2 shooting towards the surface and freedom, which our monstrous pal ain't too happy about, unleashing a swarm of his little critter babies upon the pods, and gaining on them quickly. In a brave sacrifice, Nora turns the stored energy in the drill in on itself, creating a massive explosion that consumes the entire horde as well as the godmother, allowing the pods to get to the surface safely. So in the end, it was love that mattered most of all, I guess. Since Nora was alone, she felt completely consumed by loss, and seeing the couple gave her hope. So naturally, she was driven to make sure the couple survived these impossible circumstances. She had lost her love and did everything in her power to make sure the same thing didn't happen to them. Well, thanks for the sacrifice, lady. And hey, I guess now she gets to be reunited with her loved one in the afterlife, so that's nice, in a way. Although this might seem to be the end of things, we at the very end learn that this isn't the case. The company isn't about to give up on their Mariana Trench drilling just yet. Despite the huge setback of their entire facility being blown up, seriously, how many billions did that thing cost? They have no intention of stopping. Almost as though they are hoping to encounter these sea monsters again, or at least learn more about what the heck is going down in the mysterious Mariana Trench. Although I'm not so sure our big boy actually got blown away at the end. I mean, ancient evil god and everything. Plus, even the original short story ends with him getting blown to pieces, only to later reform good as new. And I have a sneaking suspicion that he's still down there waiting for these dumbasses to start drilling into his home within the earth again, which, as it seems, appears to only be a matter of time. Way to go, guys. With that, we reached the conclusion of this ending explained for Underwater. While not exactly reinventing the wheel, it was a really thrilling, fun sci-fi horror adventure. And sometimes that's good enough, you know? It did an admirable job of mixing up all of its various genre influences into a unique enough package of its own. So hey, maybe sometimes January movies aren't absolute trash. Better than frickin' Doolittle, at least. I'm not gonna go see that. I know that this is better than that. I don't want to waste my money. What did you guys think of Underwater and its ending? What's your favorite sci-fi horror flick? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for watching FoundFlix. See you next time.